For the first time in a while, I'm actually going to use a script for this. Well, not really a script, but like a guideline. So I'm going to be talking about boredom in this video, and it's a very universal thing that everyone experiences, and there's many causes for boredom. Usually, though, boredom comes from you being understimulated, and when you're understimulated, it's usually because you're not doing anything. So you're forced to sit down somewhere, being kept to your own thoughts, and you're not happy about it, and it's just a dreary, boring experience, and nobody likes it. But the reason this is here is because it's less stimulating than usual, and it causes therefore a sort of pain in your head, which is the boredom in itself. Boredom is a form of pain after all, and the reason well, we can deduce from this pain that you're therefore below your baseline stimulation or dopamine levels, because if you weren't experiencing pain, then you wouldn't be below the baseline, and that doesn't necessarily prove that pain is only coming from below baseline. But if you're in pain, then you're not experiencing as much dopamine as usual, and that's pretty much what pain is. It's just a lack of pleasure, or lack of being able to have a secure sense of physical or mental self. That's really what pain is. So it means that you're below your baseline in entertainment in some way. It doesn't have to be actual entertainment. It could be like working, or if you're not working, if you're just left to your own devices, you're forced to just stare down a wall or something, then you're bored. And the reason you're bored is because what you were before was stimulating compared to what you are now. So your experience before was more interesting as you find it than it is now, and that's why you're bored. That's how boredom always comes. And boredom can be interpreted in different ways, but it's usually a bad sign if we're bored while we're doing something that we should normally consider fun. So let's say video games, for example. Video games, aren't they so fun? Always fun. Always have huge enjoying time with them. Not everyone. There's this kind of thing now that when you get to your late teens, that you start getting bored of them. I actually started getting bored of them by the time I was 15, I think. Actually 14. Yeah, I got bored of them when I was 14, and I've been playing them for 4 to 7 years by then. So yeah, that's because video games, they were very stimulating at first, but what that stimulation does then, it causes an excess of stimulation in your brain, and your brain needs some way to balance it out. And as a result of that, it needs to bring your current reality down. It brings your baseline down when you're not actually being stimulated, to actually counteract the stimulation. So again, there's some sort of balance there. But after a period of time, what happens is the joy that you get from playing those video games, it goes down as well over time. So you begin to just not enjoy it anymore. And the funny thing is, the balance doesn't come into play here either. You still encounter just as much of a loss of stimulation as you did before, but actually more, because the more you play video games, the more worse your life becomes as a result of that when you're not playing. And another thing that happens is your actual enjoyment of the video games themselves also go down. So pretty much everything just goes to crap when you're unnaturally stimulating yourself, and you're just going to be bored then. You're going to be absolutely unenthusiastic about everything else in your life if you have something super fun that you're doing all the time, that you don't earn. Like, it's not some sort of delayed gratification you worked for. It's just some frivolous fleeting event that you don't really deserve. So that's where boredom is a bad sign. It's just a bad sign when you find everything boring now. It's not a good sign. Boredom can be also a good sign if you're willingly engaging in it. So let's say you take a break then from these distractions, these video games, social media. You're going to feel quite bored after some time. actually not after some time, you're going to feel bored right away, and you're going to just going to get more and more bored, more and more. It's like sitting in a fire that gradually gets hotter, so you're just going to you're going to be getting very, very bored. And it's really a skill to be able to withstand that kind of boredom, and it's directly linked to pain tolerance, because as I said, boredom is a form of pain. Because again, they're just the same thing as a lack of stimulation in some way. A really great way to utilize boredom is to use it to increase your own pain tolerance, because that just improves everything in your life. Like pretty much everything in life can be solved by withstanding pain. Like becoming more confident, people say that's like a one-fits-all solution for life. That requires pain. Even that's linked to pain. It's merely like a child method of the pain method, because pain is just so universal. Now this has to be evolving pain as well. So when you experience boredom, it's just a form of this good kind of pain, not the bad kind of pain where you jump off a cliff and you somehow survive. That's not a good kind of pain. So yeah, that's really it. Just use boredom to your advantage and don't run away from it all the time. I'm actually planning next month on doing like nothing for 3 days, just thinking. I don't think I'm even going to eat. I don't think I'm going to get dressed. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, I don't do that anyway. But yeah, just to experience a surreal level of boredom. Because if you're always stimulating yourself, your capacity for boredom is just going to go down and down. Your pain tolerance is going to decrease. Well, it won't decrease, but it's just not going to increase. And unless you're increasing it all the time, then you're kind of wasting your time, because pain tolerance is it's just like the one thing you need to really increase a load. So just get a load of pain tolerance and use boredom to get that.